Alright, so this is the Kragen control list that I played for the XYZ Festival event. There are 3 cards at the end of this deck list that are specifically for certain missions that were involved with it. So, starting off, we've got 3 of Beautiful Princess. So this card is, when it is summoned, it banishes itself and then summons a level 4 fish from your deck, usually Buzzsaw Shark or Lantern Shark. Then we've got, of course, 3 Max C, Eve, level 2, or Cache Eve, it's a pun, I don't know. This card's really, really interesting. So it takes a level 4 monster in your field, turns it into a level 2, and summons itself, so you can go into Mannequin Cat, and I'll talk about the importance of Mannequin Cat when we get to the extra deck. A Construction Train Signal Red is a meta call for Numeron Network, but also it summons itself when you're blocking an attack. It blocks an attack, summons itself, it's not destroyed by that attack, and then it is a level 3 that's on your board. This just helps to go into rank 3s, as well as, survive. So, 3 of Ash Blossom. Then we are playing Left Hand Shark. Most people do not play Left Hand Shark in Kragen control because it's a level 3. However, it can be added to your hand by normal summoning Right Hand Shark. If it's in your hand or your graveyard, you can special summon it, as long as, again, you control Right Hand Shark. If it is summoned from your graveyard, it becomes a level 4. That's pretty much what it does, but also it can happen that if you XYZ summon using this and only water monsters, that monster can't be destroyed by card effects. Usually by the time I'm doing that, I'm winning the game, but it can matter. Abyss Soldier is a really weird one. It's a meta call because I've been seeing a lot of Time Lord Numeron, and Abyss Soldier returns the Time Lords so that I can go in for game. 10 Goldfish says Special Summon and has a different name from everything else in the deck. Silent Angler summons itself from the hand if you control a water monster. However, you can't summon any other monsters from your hand for the rest of the turn. So this pretty much has to be your last non-XYZ summon. XYZ Slodolphin special summons itself when you XYZ summon. If it's in your graveyard, it can attach itself as material. This has come up pretty much once. That second effect. So Right Hand Shark, if it's in your graveyard and you control no monsters, it summons itself. It's a level 4 water guy. And then if you XYZ summon using only it and other water monsters, that monster can't be destroyed by battle. Next up, we've got Lantern Shark. This card's really, really interesting. So it can be used as a level 3, 4, or 5 for an XYZ summon of a water monster. When it is normal summoned, you can special summon another level 4, well, a level 3, 4, or 5 water monster from your hand. Generally, you want that to be Buzzsaw Shark. So Buzzsaw Shark is that when it's on the field, you can target a water monster, special summon in defense mode, a fish with the same level as that monster. Generally, this is going to be Right Hand Shark. Lifeless Leaf Fish is another target for Buzzsaw Shark. When it's summoned, you can send a fish, again, generally Right Hand Shark for that engrave effect, from your deck to the graveyard. Of course, except for itself. You can banish this from your grave, return 3 fish from your grave to the deck, and draw 1. Silent Sea Nettle has a very similar effect of that if it's in the graveyard, you can banish it, return 3 water monsters from your graveyard into the deck, and then nothing happens. However, if it's in your hand, you control a water monster, you can special summon it, but you cannot summon monsters except for water during that turn. So that includes before summoning Sea Nettle. So like you can't summon Mannequin Cat and Sea Nettle in the same turn, which is really, really unfortunate. But let's move on to the kaijus. I'm just playing the biggest guys. Yes, they're not waters. That is important, though, that just high attack stats is the reason I'm playing them. Sometimes you can throw a kaiju onto your opponent's board and then a kaiju onto your own board and then pop your opponent's monster with number 4. They take huge amounts of burn damage, and then also you can attack with your kaiju. That came up for me more than I expected. So Harpy's Feather Duster, Monster Reborn, 2 of Lightning Storm. I just don't have a third one. I would recommend a third one. Two of Called by the Grave. XYZ Import is the last spell in the deck. So this is for mission, technically. So what this card is that you target an XYZ monster you control and a monster your opponent controls that has equal or less attack than your XYZ monster, and attach your opponent's monster as material to it. For some reason, this counts as taking control of your opponent's monster for the mission that says to do so. Obviously, it is also very good as a interruption to combos, and make sure that you don't have to use your Kragen pop on something that doesn't have a lot of attack points. I have also used this rather than combo interruption at the end to attach number 100 to my Kragen, which was just very funny. That is number 100 Numeron Dragon. It goes up to like 9,000 attack points. And then Treacherous Trap Hole. This is for the mission that says activate a bunch of trap cards. That didn't happen. Every time I drew this card, my opponent drew Harpy's Feather Duster, so like I have no idea. Onto the extra deck. But yeah, this could just as well be Judgment. Number 29, Mannequin Cat. Alright, so Mannequin Cat's really funny, but to talk about Mannequin Cat, we have to first go and visit the main center point of the deck. Number 4, Stealth Kragen. So this is a rank 4 that says all monsters on the field become water. That's what's important. For Mannequin Cat, at least. So Mannequin Cat is that you can detach material, summon a monster from your opponent's graveyard to your opponent's field. End of effect. The next effect is that whenever a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, you can special summon a monster with the same type or attribute as a monster your opponent controls. Does not have to be the summoned monster, but a monster your opponent controls from your deck, and just slap it on the field. So again, usually this is going to be going for either Lantern Shark or Buzzsaw Shark most of the time. And that will just extend your combos. You do have a combo line where you're going Tin Goldfish into Lantern Shark, special summoning Buzzsaw Shark off of that, but you also have lines where you're not getting into Buzzsaw Shark yet. We're going Tin Goldfish into Lantern Shark to special summon Right Hand Shark, and then you have Eve in hand, so you're going to use Eve to target one of your monsters. Doesn't really matter. You can target the Lantern Shark here if you want to, or the Tin Goldfish. I would usually target Tin Goldfish here though. The reason that matters is very small. So then that becomes a level 2. You go into Stealth Kragen, everything becomes water. If your opponent's dropped a Maxi on you or something, even if you're going first, you can still go into Mannequin Cat, summon that back to the field, get Buzzsaw Shark, use the effect, and still get into a Tornado Dragon. Or depending on the situation, maybe in attack mode Baguska. So then moving on to the rank 3s, Fortune Tune is in here for the Gain Life mission. Grand Pulse destroys back row. I've been seeing a lot of it. Evagishki Merogeist, it's also a water, which is important because with Lantern Shark and Buzzsaw Shark, they can be treated as level 3s, but only for water XYZ monsters. Merogeist returns things to the deck instead of destroying them by battle. Crazy Box is for skill drain. Rhapsody Berserk is an interesting card that can attach itself to an XYZ to give it an additional 1200 attack points, but also banish cards from your opponent's graveyard, not just monsters, cards. Number 37, Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark reduces the attack of all of your opponent's monsters by 1000 when any player's monster declares an attack. I'm not certain what other kind of monster there is, but you can detach material, reduce everything by 1000. And then also, if this card is destroyed, you can target any monster in your graveyard, any monster, no stipulations whatsoever, any monster, and special summon it. So generally this is summoning back your Stealth Kragen to make everything water again. Crooked Cook is a backup plan, but also sometimes I'll just throw this onto boards that I've already established, or I'll make this first turn and then sit on it. Generally, it's not the best to make Crooked Cook first turn. Generally, you want to be making other things, but sometimes I'll make this into an established board when my opponent has like just tons of back row and they've been getting rid of my XYZ, you know. Maybe Stealth Kragen is banished. They've already gone through my Tornado Dragon. I don't have more back row destruction. I can just go into Crooked Cook and say, alright, fine, if you chain anything, I'll just chain Crooked Cook, blow up my entire board, and then he stays on the board. And then that's just fine. And as long as you make him with Right Hand Shark, can't be destroyed by battle. Number 70, Malevolent Sin, banishes a guy off the board and lets you attack for game. The attack gain doesn't really matter that much. Tornado Dragon, quick effect, destroy a spell trap. Baguska, I'm actually usually summoning this in attack mode, not defense mode, though, you know, it comes up. So while this is an attack, it can't be targeted or destroyed by our opponent's effects. Stealth Kragen, the rest of this guy's effects are that once per turn, quick effect, destroy a water monster your opponent controls. Now remember that he changes everything to waters. And then your opponent also takes damage equal to half of that monster's attack points on the board. So if you are playing against something like Numeron Network, which again there was a lot of in this event, then you can bring back your Stealth Kragen pretty much at the end of their battle phase, because it is only during the main phase that you can use the effects. Pop their guy that has 16,000 attack points and win the game. And then also, if this card is destroyed, you can summon any number of Stealth Kragen spawns from your extra deck, which look like this guy, and then attach water monsters to them. Just attach one water monster from your graveyard as material to them. So Stealth Kragens are once per turn, quick effect, detach, destroy a water monster your opponent controls. They do not take burn damage, and they do not have the effect to change everything into water, so you do have to also have Stealth Kragen on the board. Now, when they're destroyed, you can summon a Stealth Kragen from your graveyard and attach a water monster from your grave as material to it. So they just kind of loop a little bit. So final card is Drill Driver Vespanado. So an important thing with this, it does do piercing damage. You can just throw it onto a level 4. But important thing with the piercing damage is that Mannequin Cat can summon your opponent's monsters in attack mode or defense position if you want them to. So you'd basically, if you're going into Vespanado, you can go, okay, I want to summon your monster in defense mode because it's got really low defense and I can get piercing damage on it through Vespanado. Also, when Vespanado is sent to the graveyard, you can summon a level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard. So generally that's going to be Lantern Shark or Buzzsaw Shark. You can also use it to get level 3s on the board for rank 3s. Like let's say I've got an Ash in hand, it's, you know, late game, it's not going to happen, but I do have a left-hand Shark in grave. However, my opponent has used like Called by the Grave, let's say, and banished my right-hand Sharks, but I still want to go into a rank 3. I can bring back the left-hand Shark with that, and then just normal summon Ash Blossom if I want to do that. So that is interesting. But yeah, just how much synergy this deck has with Mannequin Cat is really funny, because it's a card I just put in there as a joke originally. I was just like, oh, it'll be funny. But yeah, it actually turned out to be really good, so that's the deck.